Hello friends, welcome to my live stream, and this is about business. So if you are a businessman or a budding entrepreneur, this live stream is for you. I come every day live with intriguing ideas, tips and tricks which may be useful for you, and also the business information. So today I would like to discuss about the recent action on Google, and this action is taken by the competitive CCI, the watchdog of Indian government, which looks at the anti-compete violations in India, and Google was fined twice. The total value of the fine is about 175 million dollars. So, which is a hefty amount, and it's substantial, and it's basically for violating certain norms of anti-compete law in India, and specifically only on the Android users. So you may be thinking that what is going on, and Google is also thinking what is going on. In fact, Google gave the statement that this may be a bad move, and it may be unfriendly for the Indian people, Indian app developers. So let us understand this much more in detail, and what are the implications of this. All right, so let's continue our discussion. And as I said, I am live. So if you have any suggestions, any questions, you can actually share that with me, and I can respond, and we can get into a discussion. All right. Now, this is not the first time it is happening with Google or any other social media. This kind of fine has been levied in other countries, and India is not the first country to take such an action. Basically, the business watchdogs which are appointed by the government want to ensure that there are no malpractices, and everybody has the share pie of the market, and there should not be any undue advantage that business should be able to take just because they are very big. So every government ensures that, and India is no exception. So Indian government has set up a department to watch out all these things. So the department is called CCI, and they specifically look at any violation of anti-compete law of India. So what is the anti-compete law? Anti-compete law is that you should not be able to eat away the business of other competitor which is not liked by the government. So there are a lot of things which I will not like to cover today, but fact of the matter is that the Google has been fined specifically with regard to its user base having Android phone devices. It's not related to websites, it's not related to any other service. It is specifically related to only Android devices, and also the Google Play services. There is a similar case going on in UK and also in Netherlands, and they may face a huge fine in those countries, and I think the case is not yet settled, but the speculation is that the anti-compete may attract a fine of almost 25 billion US dollars, which is huge. So in comparison, Indian fine is nothing for Google, which they have already paid and moved on, and they are now tightening their, changing their policies and tightening, their legal system, and they are also changing the value propositions. All right, so let's move to the next issue that we are talking about, and that is that even before India imposed any fine, the Korea did it before India. And the anti-compete watchdog in Korea, in South Korea, imposed a fine on Google, very similar fine on Google, and Google then took care of that, paid the fine and tightened the screw. So now the Google is also tightening the screw on their offerings in India. When I say tightening the screw, what does it mean? And as I said, that this is affecting only the Android phone users and the ecosystem around the Android phones. So it is related to the payment gateway, basically, because Google has a payment gateway. Google also has so many other things, and what Google did is basically tied their payment gateway in the backend. So when you are making a payment to Google, you have to specifically use Google GPay to pay that, and that will ensure that the GPay service takes on, because there are so many Google users in India. So the GPay will have a lot of liquidity, etc., which is meaning, I mean, this is a sensible thing to do for any business. But since Google is also providing multiple services, Google is also providing mail services, web hosting services. There are so many 24, 25 other different services they are providing. And if they are saying that for everything you have to pay GPay, then they are now getting into a scenario where they are getting into an anti-compete kind of a situation, and therefore government didn't want that, and specifically with the Google Play services. So what happens on Google Play? Well, it is easier to develop an app. Now there are so many app development toolkits available, so you can actually develop app for your application for your website and link it to your website. And then the way it works is that you have to declare yourself and register as an app developer on Google Play platform, and you have to pay one-time fee. Now there, if you're becoming a app developer on Google, you have to pay fee through GPay. You cannot use any other mechanism to pay. So that is one bone of contention as an app developer. And once you basically register there, after paying that initial fee, you can actually keep developing whatever type of app you have, as long as you are meeting the standards of Google Play and hosting the app on the Google Play platform, and people can download it, etc., etc. And then within the Google Pay applications, you can also collect money for various aspects. For example, games. You can actually download the game for free, but then later for using the game and migrating from one level to other, you got to pay, you got to buy some credits, etc. All that is integrated with GPay. So what is the meaning of this fine and the tightening of screw by Google actually means that now instead of GPay, there will be more options available for doing the same thing. So from the user perspective, nothing changes. Only thing is that earlier it was mandated that you have to use GPay in the backend if you are on a Google platform, and you got to pay through GPay. But now you will see multiple payment options, and not only GPay will be one of them. And also Google will display a disclaimer that GPay is very, very secure, but others, they will not take guarantee of security, which is fair enough. So I think this is the fine, and the CCI warning to Google will result in this, and they've already done that. They now if you go to Google and you want to make a payment, you will have multiple choices, multiple payment gateway through which you will be able to pay. And this is basically resolving the current CCI issue that they have. But this is not the end of it. Google has extended this non-compete even for the app developers. So if there are app developers who have integrated GPay in their application apps, even those are getting disabled. So I think as far as that is concerned, this is bringing a big change, because now the app developers, millions of apps which are loaded on Google platform, will have to make some changes in order to accept other payment gateway. And usually what used to happen is that through the app developer will then bring control back to them, to their website, and then they will collect money on their website. So even that has been disallowed. So basically what is changing now is the payment gateway, and little democracy is being applied here, and then multiple choices of making a payment has been given to the user. They can make payment either through GPay if they are comfortable, or through MasterCard, or through any other mechanism. So these are the changes which are happening, and which is good for the users. Users get much more empowerment, and they don't have to really worry about, hey, do I have GPay wallet, or do I have a GPay integration with my UPI, etc., etc. So none of those things are applicable, not mandatory, even though, as I said, that Google is displaying a sort of a disclaimer that GPay on Google platform is very, very secure, but they will not take ownership of anything, any payment problems you're having if you're using some other payment gateway, which is fair enough. I think they are making it very clear. However, the choices are being made available. So this is what the implications of this particular information is all about. So when we look at Google being fined, we should not look at it in any other negative way. We should look at how the market is changing, and India is not the only country which is doing it. UK is doing it, France is doing it, EU is doing it, Germany is doing it, Korea has already done it, Australia is doing it. So India is not the only country where they are facing this such a lawsuit or a fine. So I thought I would like to clarify this issue because this is recent. This happened like 2-3 weeks back, and what are the implications, which I've explained. For the users, there is no change at all. In fact, they are getting more empowerment. For the app developer, there is a change because now they cannot bring the payment link back to their website. They will have to use the multiple payment gateways, so that little bit of democracy is available for users. So I think there is a bit of change for the app developer community. Otherwise, there is absolutely no change, and absolutely no change even at the while using the Google platform. All right, so if you have any questions, do let me know. I will be more than happy to receive your questions and answer. Otherwise, I like to say goodbye today, only to catch you live again tomorrow. Bye bye.